So today we're going to talk about burnout, and I'll give you a four-stage model that a lot of people really like because it can help you identify in which stage you might be right now and help you prevent yourself from progressing further in burnout. And the first stage is usually referred to as the honeymoon phase, the honeymoon stage. This is where, I'm working 14, 18 hours a day and I love it. And the people that are most at risk for burnout are those that are very passionate about what they do. So if that's you in a new job or as a mother or parent, really trying to do the best job that you can, working really hard, maybe you're a social justice advocate or whatever it is, but people that are really passionate about what they do are at a higher risk for burnout. And so the first phase is like a honeymoon stage because it's exciting, it's fun, I'm doing what I want to do, I'm passionate about it, I'm investing a lot of energy. And the stress that comes with it, I don't mind, right? Maybe kind of like it. And this honeymoon phase usually is pretty short. I work a lot with college students, and within a college term, a lot of students are excited and working really hard, but it might last for 1 or 2 or maybe 3 weeks. Because what you find out is you can't stay in that honeymoon stage. You can't continue to invest that amount of energy and passion and time without burning out. And so it's usually a fairly short stage. And if you're not able to slow down and get a more sustainable amount of energy that you're investing into something, then you will transition into the second phase, which is referred to as the awakening stage or the awakening phase. And this is where it starts to dawn on me, this isn't sustainable. It's kind of like when the check engine light comes on in your car. There might not be anything noticeable wrong with your car at that point, but there's a little bit of a signal that, hey, something might be wrong. You want to get this checked out. And this stage is usually pretty short. It might last a day or 2 or 3 before you transition into the third stage, which is referred to as the slowdown. And this is where you are burning out. You're expending more energy than you're able to sustain. Or really a better way to say it is the amount of stress and pressure that you're holding, that you're facing, is greater than what you can recover from each day. And so people stay in this phase for a long period of time. And this is normalized in a lot of industries, a lot of cultures, that you're supposed to be working this hard and you're supposed to be able to do it. And if you're not able to withstand this amount of stress in your job or this amount of stress as a mother or a parent or this amount of stress as a social justice advocate or whatever it is, that maybe there's something wrong with you that you're not able to manage this amount of stress. But of course, this isn't true at all. And in fact, I think athletes are a good example of what we should aspire to in a lot of our careers and a lot of our industries. Because athletes know that, you have to challenge yourself, push yourself hard. That stress is actually really good. You want to be passionate. You want to invest a lot. But if you do it too much, you get injured. And when you get injured, then you really have to cut back and allow yourself to heal. And the biggest point that I make in any of my presentations on burnout, or when I'm working with an individual therapy client or in a group, doing group therapy, I want people to understand that burnout, it is an injury. It's an injury similar to maybe a stress fracture or tendonitis. And usually it's an injury, an overuse injury. And so the more that you are not able to heal, the more that you continue with that stress, that pressure, and some people do this for weeks, months, and even years, the more ingrained and entrenched that injury gets and the worse it gets, the more maybe inflamed, the more damage that happens. And then it takes that much longer to recover. So this slowdown phase is usually where people start to recognize, I need to make a change, but oftentimes feel like they can't because they're in big, powerful systems, or they're in a culture, or they have an internalized mindset that there's something wrong with me. I'm just not strong enough yet. I'm doing something wrong, which of course isn't the case. So a lot of my work is helping people catch it early enough, and the earlier we catch it and can make some changes to your life, the quicker you'll be able to heal and then get yourself into a sustainable place where you can live life or engage in your work or your advocacy or whatever it is without burning out. But what happens too is people will progress in this stage until they hit the fourth stage, the fourth phase, which is usually referred to as hitting the wall, or that's the kind of classic, oh, I actually am burned out. I've been burning out throughout this third stage, and then I hit the wall. And this can look different in different, jobs or in different areas, but oftentimes physical health will decline or decline really rapidly, more so than it was in the third slowdown phase. Sometimes people will get really angry and they'll just quit their job. I actually watched a YouTube video a few months ago about newscasters that quit their job live on TV. And so at least in my mind, it seemed like, oh, a lot of these people, they've hit that wall and they're finally just done with it. And here's a video actually of a marathon runner, a woman from Kenya, that hits the wall. And so you can see what happens. Her legs actually give out. And she's in first place at this point, and she's fairly close to the finish line, a few hundred meters away. But she's hit that wall, and so she can't really keep going, but she does on her hands and knees, and it's pretty inspiring to watch. And it's fascinating too, as I was learning more about this situation, the news loved this, and they showed it on, all over the place and championed her at how inspirational it was, that grit, that determination to keep crawling and keep going, which is absolutely true. It is inspiring to watch that. But then there were some medical providers that had some responses that said, hey, wait a second. We don't want to really celebrate this too much because what she's doing could be really dangerous, and we don't want people to emulate that because people can die, actually, or really get injured doing this type of thing. And one of the things that I love about this video is it brings up those feelings that I think a lot of us have where we feel stuck in a dilemma, right? I'm burning out, or I've hit the wall. I know I need to stop for my own health, but I can't because of financial pressures or cultural pressures or many other reasons that are very real that I don't feel like I can recover and heal and stop or slow down. And I think it is particularly important that this is a Black woman. And so I think that brings up some more feelings that a lot of us have, a lot of meanings to, of what it means for someone to really be stuck in this place where they're suffering, they're burning out or hit the wall, but they can't yet really recover. So a lot of my work is helping people understand the causes of burnout and then really evaluate their own mindsets, their own internalized barriers, but then also to really evaluate their own systems, the systems in which they exist that are putting on these pressures, and to work to be able to change those things so that you can actually heal and recover. And it is doable. Sometimes it takes a long time, but it's very meaningful work. It's one of the things that I love to do. So if you're interested in working with me, you can visit me on my website, grouptherapycentral.com. If you're a therapist, I run groups for therapists, but I also do lots of presentations and workshops on burnout. And I do a lot of retreats where we do some in-depth evaluation of you, your systems, your situations, how you are burning out, and then work to develop a plan for the next 6 months for you to be able to change that. And then we meet over the next 6 months and give you some follow-up to see how you're doing with that. I'll post more videos on burnout. It's one of the things that I'm very passionate about, and I wish you the best of luck in your burnout prevention and recovery journey. Take care.